Hustle beats talent when talent doesn't hustle, says a wise man. Stay tuned.
Morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. And this is your topic this morning.
It is. I was thinking because we've decided in the office to have all our new KPIs stuck to our desk. I thought it'd be a good time to talk about hustle, working hard, goal setting, that kind of thing.
And a good time of year to reflect Easter, bit of time off, look at your goals, plan, and hustle.
It's also that time where everyone's already done their New Year's resolutions and now forgotten about it. It's the giving up time, so it's the time to reinstate them.
It's true, eh? The New Year's resolution's got to be readjusted. So you got some secrets this morning, and also you've done a bit of research as well. But we've got some good secrets and what works for us as a team. We're going to share that. And I do have to say that this quote this morning is brought to you by Tom Panos, one of the best real estate trainers in the country. I don't know if it's his quote, but I know it's the quote. Every time I hear this quote, I think of him, and he quotes it all the time. So hustle beats talent when talent doesn't hustle. I love that quote. I love it.
It's so true, though. You can't just rely on your laurels and hope that everything turns out. You've got to put in the work to get the results.
Gotta hustle. And it's what happens, I think, with real estate agents as they get mature in their career. The ones that keep hustling, keep pushing themselves, keep going, and continue to have a good trajectory. The other ones that get a little bit comfy and rely on their talent a little bit too much and don't hustle. You see them not do as much business in the marketplace.
Actually, speaking of that, I saw on TikTok yesterday, I know how we were talking about TikTok and real estate agents. There's quite a few multi-million-dollar writers in the US that use TikTok a lot as their platform. And one of them, he was filming, he goes, I'm a multi-million-dollar writer and I still door knock. And he's going and door knocking down a street. And it just shows you have to work hard. That's why he's getting those results. Yep.
He's talented and still hustling on the doors. Hustling on the doors. So tell me, what are some of the things that we do, that you do, that we can share to people out there to keep hustling, to get talent?
I actually worked as a tutor for a long time, and every person I've tutored, I've told this. Someone told me when I was in school, but you have to have what you want written down in front of you 24/7. So in school, I had the ATAR I wanted stuck on my wall. When I got to uni, I had what career I wanted stuck on my wall, what mark I wanted stuck on my wall. And now at work, we have everyone in the office now, we have our KPIs written down on a piece of paper and stuck on the desk. And it's just a trigger to remind you, hey, this is what I need to be doing.
I've got my weight. I've got a permanent marker, and I'll write my weight on my mirror every day if I'm trying to lose weight.
Oh, that's a good one.
And it's and I've got to tell you, because in real estate, there's not much tolerance for weight because you're in a suit every day. So it's not like you're in trackies and whether you're 5 or 10 kilos more or 5 or 10 kilos less, it doesn't matter. In a suit, you feel a kilo. So that's a secret that I do, is I write it on the mirror, and then when I get to that desired weight, I'm done. I don't need to do it any longer.
Oh, wow, that's a good idea. It's kind of similar to doing, I saw these people talking about if you're losing weight, the importance of taking photos, because you forget the progress you're making unless you have something to look at and compare, and it motivates you to keep going.
That's a good one, celebrating along the way, because I think, and also, you know what, we're working so hard and so long. You need to celebrate those milestones. You need to keep as you go along. Otherwise, you just never get there. It's a mountain you just keep on climbing. Luke Moroney's got some quotes this morning. Anne Molly's here. These two are hustlers and very talented. And Mel says, so true. What mark did you have and what did you get? Luke wants to know. What did you get? What ATAR?
I got 98.8, but I had the 99 stuck in the big, so I just missed it. Nerd.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a smart one here. We've got me. I'd like to say I forgot, but I think it was something about the 50s or something. Yeah, it's terrible through school.
It's hard though. They don't test. You need to focus and consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't work really hard for a day and then just stop and then come back a month later and expect results. I think that's something that people fall into. It's similar to what Lisa says about social media, how you have to consistently post. You can't post for a week and go, oh my gosh, I don't have another 1,000 followers.
You know, and I think if you really have a good look at a lot of people that are terrific at what they do, I think consistency is definitely part of it. That hustle, that push. Do you know also, Jess, that hustle word that we keep using? I don't know how to explain it, and I don't know if you can be taught it. It's this inner yearning, necessity, hunger, push, need, whatever that is, fight for what you want that people have. And I don't think people can teach you the hustle. They can't teach you the passion for what you want. I think you got to find it yourself. And once you've found it, I actually think it comes in. Sometimes you may convince yourself that's what you want, but it's actually not. Do you know what I mean? So it's got to be something that you believe in, you strive for. It's got to be your idea, and you're naturally good at it because you love it so much. So hustle's an interesting one. It's got many dynamics to it. It's not just pushing the weight. It's being passionate about it.
I think it manifests though in different ways. Like if you're someone that's really interested in a hobby, but not so much in your work, maybe you'll just cruise along and work your own hustle. You'll go 9 to 5 and that's fine. But then your hobby is like your life and you dedicate all your time and that's where it manifests. So it can be in different parts of your life. It doesn't necessarily have to be in work, but if you're working really hard at something, then you reap the rewards and you feel good.
Well said. Big time. So other tricks to hustling and talent that you found out there that you can give people or that we do?
One of the other things I do for my New Year's resolution, and I set up goals, but I set them in, I'll say, okay, in 10 years, I want to have, whatever it is, I don't know, or 5 years, I want to have a horse. I want to be an equestrian rider, as an example. That's not going to happen tomorrow. What do I have to do tomorrow to get there? And I'll set like a time goal and then I check in. So after a month, if I have done 3 training sessions a week, that's good. I'll up my goal for the next month and then assess how far along I am to get to that end. So I think having timely set goals, we do that in the office with a weekly check-in with our KPIs. It's not just next year I want to ride $1 million. It's how do I get there? What are the baby steps along the way?
Yeah, and I think people often look at the short-term view is the common view and the easy view, but I think and always with training reps, I've always said it. I think you've really got to have you got to, like you've just said, that long-term goal, and then chunk it down to what it actually means now. What's Lisa Kramer saying? The motivation, the drive, the hunger. Absolutely. And that's a good one, Anmol, that Anmol's just brought up. I think when you surround yourself with, there's a saying, environment loads the gun and nature pulls the trigger. I think you've got to be in an environment where you may be great at what you do, but if you're not put in an environment, it won't allow you to be the best that you are. And I think, and I've often associated, even with bad habits, if you're in a surrounding that's full of bad habits, even if you're good nature, sometimes you may fall into bad habits because of the surroundings you're in. So I think environment loads the gun, nature pulls the trigger. Really good quote.
But that's also why it's important to do the check-ins, because if you're in an environment that's not working for you, you can go, actually, this might not be the best. I'll move myself. I have the motivation to move because I want to do well.
Yep. And I think surround yourself with like-minded people. But it's actually catch-22, because it's the problem. Sometimes the problem is you. And I think, and I see it with wonderful sales reps changing offices consistently every 5 years, and they do that for 20 years. And you think, man, if you're just stuck to one area, to one office, to one set of customers, you would have been more successful. So, yeah, I think it's hard. Can I say something? When hustle beats talent, when talent doesn't hustle, I find that commitment also will bring on that success. And what I've always found for me personally is staying in debt, staying under the pump, pushing myself, and never being comfortable. So I've always, at a very young age, I bought property and kept consistently buying property. When I was 18, I bought my first property. When I was 19, I bought my second property and held the first. When I was 20, I bought my third property and held the first, second, and third one. When I was 20, so my point was, I was so committed and so under the pump, probably scared to that point of being scared of, like, I can't mess up. That actually pushed me as well.
Yeah, that's also true. There's no big fish in a small pond.
That's it.
Yeah.
So what's that Mel got to say there?
If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
No, with that being uncomfortable thing, it's kind of, so the first time you might have no idea what you're doing, but if you just show up, you just do it, you'll learn the next time it's easy. So you have to be uncomfortable because it makes you learn for the next time, and then you're comfortable. It's the only way to do it.
You got to push it. You got to push yourself. Yeah. Now, before we roll out, I'm in the big city actually today, going into a presentation in Harrington Street. So I'm pretty excited. To roll out, in summary, what are the lessons?
Stick your goals on your wall. Write your weight on the mirror. And keep showing up, keep working hard. Absolutely.
One thing that I missed, with your KPIs, your key performing indicators that you have set for yourself, everyone out there, if you are doing this, make sure they are your goals, make sure you're passionate about them, make sure it's what you want. You can't have a boss, a principal turn around and say, that's what you got to do, and you have to do it. And you go, like, screw you. You've got to be really passionate about these things that are driving you every day, and these key performance indicators. So, don't be doing, I think you mentioned door knocking. Don't be doing door knocking and as a KPI, if you friggin' hate door knocking as a KPI. For instance, Lisa wasn't a fan of cold calling, Lisa Novak, and she was a fan of going live. And she was like, that's my way to get in front of audiences. You can do it on door knocking. You can do it on going live on social. That worked for her. Everyone's different.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Alrighty, have fun in the city.
The big smoke. Take care. Have a great day, everyone. And we're not going to be talking tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, it's Easter.
Have a great Easter, everyone. Enjoy your family. What a beautiful time of the year. And I think the weather's going to hold out for us as well. I think we're going to have good weather.
Yeah, I'm excited. How good.
So good. Everyone, have a great long weekend. Love ya. See ya. And Jess, thank you very much for helping with today. This lady is a very motivated individual. There you go, 98 on the ATAR. What a future. Thanks, legend.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye.